8:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well. I've got a blockbuster, and I mean a blockbuster segment that I'm going to do opening the Chris Hand Show coming up at 9.
Don't make it too big because I don't want you to shine so much.
We're not going to have to worry about that, Joan.
Okay.
One thing we know about me is I am not going to outshine anyone, but I've tasked Sam with cleaning up this audio. Don't say what it is, Sam. If you could have that done by 8:30, I'd actually rather do it in my show so that I get the ratings credit. That'd be great. So I'm going to do, you know what I'm going to do, Joan, when I'm in for Chris from 9 to 10? I'm just going to phone it in so that, I'm going to use all the good stuff during my show from, 5 to 9. Including what I hope to do at 8:35 with Sam and Joan, because that is an incredible story.
Just a reminder that Blockbuster is a failed business.
Wah, wah.
Anyway, so try and clean that up. Because, it is an amazing story. Like, it is shocking, actually. So hopefully Sam can clean up the audio between now and 8:35. Have you seen, Joan, the highlights of the Virginia? We've been talking about the Virginia governor's race, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the highlights of that debate last night?
I didn't see the highlights yet.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Need some audio and video here. So this is one of the most infuriating things you will ever see or hear today, where we've been talking about the story where you have John Jay, the guy who is running for Attorney General for the Commonwealth of Virginia. He's got those really nasty text messages that he sent a while ago talking about how he would like to see his political opponents and his political opponents' kids shot. Huge controversy. We've been talking about this week, these text messages. Again, Jay Jones. The Democrats won't even, as you know, we've been talking about this, won't even condemn this guy. There's a governor's race going on there in Virginia. The AG candidate, again, Jay Jones, texted someone else that he fantasizes about shooting then House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his children. Now, these were private text messages, and this is from the Associated Press. In the texts, Jones describes a scenario in which Gilbert gets 2 bullets in the head, followed by a wish that the Republicans' lawmakers' children die in their mother's arms. And do you know why he said that? Because he's saying that this Gilbert's kids are fascists. Like they're just a couple of little fascists.
He said breeding little fascists.
That's exactly right. Breeding little fascists. New York Post, of course, has also reported that he at one time said that if more cops died, that would stop if more cops died, that would stop them from shooting people. And that was a discussion about police and qualified immunity. So this guy wants to be the attorney general, and here he is basically sounding like he wished that cops would die, that if more cops died, they would stop shooting people. I hate to say it, but these days, typical Democrat. I could see Athan Bain saying something like this, for example. So this impacts the governor's race because the woman running for governor, her name is Abigail Spanberger. Again, she's a Democrat. She is refusing to pull her endorsement of Jay Jones, the guy that said all of these horrific things in text. So that's the setup to this debate that happened last night. I want you to listen to how infuriating this is as she is being asked by the moderator about her endorsement of this guy, Jay Jones. Listen to how infuriating this is.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was the those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many hours.
What did you do about it?
I learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
She denounces murder.
And importantly, at this point, as we move forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them,
You're running to
presumably for political reasons.
So Winsome Sears, and this was part of the debate, Winsome Sears is doing a lot of interrupting, and people are saying that she may have interrupted too much, but the reason why Winsome Sears is so angry is because Spanberger, simply put, will not take back her endorsement of Jay Jones, which is so weird. Like, why would you not pull your endorsement for a guy who wished that children would be shot dead? I mean, do you know what's so funny, Joan? There was a time in America where that would be like politics
Career
101.
ending. Yep, career endings. It would be political suicide to accept that.
But Spanberger, she just simply, and the reason why Winsome Sears is so angry, and the reason why when you listen to this audio, she clearly just won't answer the question.
But the voters now have the information, and
she keeps going back to the voters.
It is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
Ms. Spanberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earl Sayers,
and it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
Listen to how contrite.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Contrite? She sounds very like, I'm not going to answer your question. I don't care how many different times you ask it. And she's sounding and she's looking like she is just clueless as to how people are perceiving this. And for the life of me, I do wonder if Jay Jones has something on her. Because it doesn't make any sense why a gubernatorial candidate, knowing the severity of these text messages that Jay Jones sent, that she wouldn't immediately pull that endorsement. I truly don't understand. You know, we talk to Matthew Hurtt all the time. He's been keeping us up to speed on this. And I don't know if he can explain it. Maybe I'll try to get him on. But it doesn't make any sense. It seems like it would be politics 101.
We just want to clarify, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the policies I put out and the work I will endeavor to do tirelessly for the people of Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
You see how that went.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was 2 minutes and where she just, I absolutely pull my endorsement. That's what she should have said. This is the state of the Democrat Party, though. Like, doesn't this, as the young kids say, doesn't this track?
Yeah.
With the Democrats?
So the Virginia Police Benevolent Association is saying that if he does win, he needs to decline to serve. He needs to say, thanks, but I'm not going to do it.
Somebody filed a motion to have his law license suspended.
Yeah. That's true.
Jason Miyares, who holds that position now, has been just a stud. He's been so good in his job.
Yeah.
That first of all, I can't imagine that this guy is going to track at all. But we'll see. Things get crazy in the areas of Virginia nearest to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they may rally around this. And I think that if Jay Jones and this woman Spanberger wins after that performance, and I've got a little bit more audio, I think that it does track with the Democrat Party. They refuse. Number one, we know that they embrace assassination culture. We saw that with the murder of Charlie Kirk, and we've just seen that in their overall behavior, where it's also like a murder culture. Because if you think about it, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but if you think about it, what do the Democrats advocate for? I mean, obviously, we could go down the conversation of abortion, but soft on crime policies, which leads to people being murdered because bad guys ultimately don't end up in jail. They embrace illegal aliens coming into our country. A lot of these people are murderers as well. And so they advocate for rape and murder and soft on crime policies. And ultimately, it's the American people that pay the price. And so for this Spanberger, who wants to be the governor, for her not to, I mean, she can condemn, I'm air quoting, she can condemn all she wants, these text messages. But by not pulling her actual support, it just doesn't, I am baffled by this. Why she wouldn't pull that support. I will even be more baffled if ultimately she ends up winning this election, because Winsome Sears has been closing the gap. Spanberger was doing really well, and Winsome Sears has been closing that gap. And some say that this particular debate may have closed the gap and maybe put Winsome Sears over the top. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Just before that that debate last night, Signal, now I don't know, it's a Republican polling firm, had, so in September, Abigail Spanberger 50-43, Winsome Sears. Mm-hmm. And as of October 7th, Abigail Spanberger 49-45. So it is tightening.
It's closing.
Will it be enough?
Well, you know what? Winsome Sears had a lot more to say to Abigail Spanberger.
I don't understand why you just can't come forward and say he needs to go. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it?
Now, here's the thing. This is a video, and if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, Spanberger cannot even look at Winsome Sears. She can't even look at her. And she's really not looking at anybody because she can't look the moderator in the eye. She can't look at the camera, and she can't look at whatever audience members are there because she knows how incredibly wrong she is. And so if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, just pay attention to the fact that she refuses to look at Winsome Sears or, frankly, anyone else because she can't, because she knows that she's in the wrong.
I don't understand why you just can't come forward and say he needs to go. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it? Wow. Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all the people. Are you saying political murder is all right?
I mean, she had nothing to say.
Wow. That's powerful.
And the crazy thing is, she didn't even say no to any of that.
Wow.
More like Abigail Spanberger. Salty meat in a can.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Like, that was Mandis level bad. Just to let you know.
I learned from the best.
Listen, I'm second to none. Whatever. Also, remember, just talking about the Democrats and their death cult. Also, let's not forget that they're pro-Hamas, right? So they're pro-Hamas, pro-abortion, pro-crime in the streets, pro-illegal alien gangbangers who murder and rape. And not one Democrat will pull back or renounce this guy to the point where they take away their endorsement of him. And I believe when Winsome Sears, she is genuinely perplexed. Like, Winsome Sears is speaking for all Americans who are, you don't even have to be a Republican. You can be just a moderate Democrat and say, what in the world is wrong with you, Abigail Spanberger? Why is this so difficult? So I think that somebody's got something on her. Like, I do. And I don't, maybe this is my intuition or something, but I don't believe that this Spanberger, thanks a lot, Sam, I'm calling her Spanberger. I don't. This defies all logic. So there's somebody has something on Spanberger, and that is why she is refusing to pull that endorsement. And you know what? Here's the thing. Does anybody really care about this woman's endorsement? Does anybody really, truly care about, and just go with me here. Does anybody really care about Spanberger not endorsing this guy, Jay Jones? Because I think that he's probably cooked. But it tells you about the leadership qualities and the moral character of Abigail Spanberger. And you can't trust that. That's the kind of leader she is. She is acquiescing to somebody. I don't know who it is, but it's somebody. The question is, will it cost them the election? We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'll tell you what, those police, you really think that they're going to respect a guy who is an attorney general who said that maybe more police need to be shot so that they'll stop shooting people? Real quickly, just a real quick piece of audio to set this up. This was last night's governor's debate in the Commonwealth of Virginia, where the Republican Winsome Sears is asking the Democrat Abigail Spanberger, do you renounce and do you pull your endorsement for the attorney general, the guy who wants to be attorney general, because of those private text messages that were released where he said that he wanted to kill not only his political opponents, but also his political opponents' children.
I don't understand why you just can't come forward and say he needs to go. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it? Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all the people. Are you saying political murder is all right?
Yeah. Let me ask you, Matthew Hurtt is joining us here. Just very, very quick hit on this, Matthew, because I got a lot going on here for the last half hour of the show. But I played the audio just a few moments ago. It is astounding to me. It is astounding that Abigail Spanberger refuses to pull her endorsement with these text messages from the AG wannabe. Do you think this has made any kind of a impact on where the electorate is?
Dan, Winsome came out on offense at the debate last night. She sounded great. Abigail Spanberger sounded annoyed, was on defensive, refused to answer a number of questions a number of times. And let me tell you, the reason why Winsome came out on offense about Jay Jones is because it is moving voters. In the last week, our Attorney General candidate, Jason Miyares, has flipped. He's now on top. He is up a point and a half or two. And this is tanking the entire Democratic ticket. The other two statewide candidates, Abigail Spanberger, the Democrat, and Hashmi Ghazala, they have shifted. The race is within striking distance, and voters are now paying attention to what's going on. And when they checked in, when they tuned in, they saw a Democrat candidate for Attorney General, the top law enforcement agent of the state, saying it is okay to kill your political opponents. And it's, by the way, Dan, it's also all right if a few cops die in the line of duty.
Let me ask you, because I find this interesting. I played the audio, and she simply, Abigail Spanberger, it seems to make more sense, because you talked about how this is crashing the entire ticket. It seems to make more sense to me that it's just as simple as saying, I pull my endorsement for Jay Jones. Why doesn't she do that?
The weird thing about it was Spanberger had an event on Monday in Loudoun County, the crucible of the Parents' Choice or the Parents Matter movement from 2021, and she had Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear campaigning for her. He's a Democrat. And he was on Fox News saying he couldn't support, or he didn't know, or he hemmed and hawed about support for Jay Jones. Here's what I think has happened. I think the Spanberger campaign has telegraphed to their surrogates to either not talk about Jay or to casually throw him overboard. There's not really anything the Democrats can do to replace him on the ballot this late in the game. And so they're anchored with this albatross of Jay Jones. He had a fundraiser scheduled on Thursday night that they had to cancel. Other fundraisers are coming into question because the host committees are receiving pressure from well-meaning Virginians saying this is absolutely not the way we want to be. So she's almost, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in this space. She doesn't have a process or a mechanism to dump him off the ballot, and she's kind of stuck with him for the last 3.5 weeks of this campaign.
I got to ask, why doesn't Jay Jones, why doesn't he drop out of the race? I get what you're saying, but number one, why doesn't he drop out of the race? Clearly, he is acting as an anchor. But number two, when you listen to the audio about how Abigail Spanberger, they asked her like 4 or 5 times in the clip that I had, and she's, well, it's now up to the voters and all that. And I don't know, maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it feels like somebody's got something on Abigail Spanberger.
Well, the best worst option, Dan, for the Democrats is for Jay Jones to step out of the race and for them to write that one off. It may salvage the rest of the ticket over the next 3 weeks, but they just can't do it because many local Democrat committees, many candidates for House of Delegates, what we call our House of Representatives in Virginia, have dug in and they said, we support this and this is not an issue and political violence is okay. So they have embraced the ideology of political violence against your enemies, against your political opponents, people who you serve alongside in legislative bodies, and they are kind of stuck with this. This is going to be an interesting test heading into November. Again, the polls have shifted. Even Jay Jones' internal poll had him down 1, and that didn't even encompass the beginning of the week. It was taken over the weekend. So this is a very precarious place for Democrats in Virginia, and it is a vote-moving issue, which is why Winsome Sears talked about it so much on the debate and why Abigail Spanberger couldn't back away from it.
I don't know. I'm just not very smart politically, but it seems like the more that they don't talk about it, the more that people are talking about it. And it just seems like this is the worst possible way for them to handle this kind of a situation. Some people are saying, by the way, that Matthew Hurtt joining us, some people are saying that Winsome Sears was very aggressive, maybe too aggressive with the interruptions during last night's debate. I mean, what was your take on that?
You know, Dan, I think Winsome had a bunch of what is clippable moments, so things that you can clip and then share on social media. But what I also think is she was creating the inability for Abigail Spanberger to have the same clippable moments. And I thought she came across sounding wise, sounding winsome, as her name suggests, and I was so excited to hear her. This was definitely the only debate that's going to take place in this race. This was her best chance, and I think she made a good case to the voters, and I think she showed the right level of moral indignation on some of Abigail Spanberger's answers, and I think that came across fine on television.
And that's the thing, is that there just doesn't seem to be any indignation on the part of Abigail Spanberger. It just doesn't. Remind me, Abigail Spanberger, what is it that she does in the state now? Like, is she a state rep or what is she?
Well, she was in Congress. Before that, she served in the CIA, and I think she did some U.S. postal law enforcement. But she is a lifelong career politician.
Of course.
She is molded for this race, created in Northern Virginia for this race. She is the quintessential Northern Virginia, what we call awful, affluent white female liberal, and it is not ready. It actually on screen, if you watch her, there's an unlikability factor that really came across at a high level from her on television last night.
Well, because not only her face, but also just her voice, where it's just like, I'm not going to talk about this, and you can't make me. You know, she just honestly, man, she came across like a 12-year-old. That's what she came across as.
There is a subconscious decision that voters make when they see a male candidate, a female candidate, a black candidate, a white candidate, Hispanic candidate. It doesn't matter. And I thought Winsome has the opportunity to turn people off because she's a black female candidate, and she did a good job correcting for those subconscious decisions people make. And I think Abigail Spanberger went, as they say, hard in the paint on unlikability for white female candidates.
Virginia, help me understand this. So Virginia right now has a very popular governor in
Glenn Youngkin.
Glenn Youngkin. Thank you, Joan. Glenn Youngkin. So why would the people of Virginia swing back to the left in Abigail Spanberger?
A lot of it in Northern Virginia is opposition to President Trump in the White House. We often see after a presidential election, if a Republican's in the White House, then a Democrat is favored to win for the statewide race. It is the quintessential check and balance. Yeah. That's happened in most elections over the past generation. And that's why, coming into this race in January, we knew, conservatives and Republicans knew we were facing headwinds. And so we had to really run hard. And I'll say this, the last 6 to 7 weeks, the energy has been higher than it was at any other point in the race. Enthusiasm for Winsome and for the policies, the common sense conservative policies that Abigail Spanberger has rejected. She rejected them in Congress and she's rejected them on the campaign trail. I think we're in a really good place to make a strong case to send Winsome to Richmond and send the entire ticket to Richmond. And I think the energy and enthusiasm, particularly coming out of the debate, will help us do that.
When is the vote?
Tuesday, November 4th. Actually, you can early vote now. And the biggest thing in the last 3 weeks is Winsome has faced a deficit in the fundraising. Her website is winsomeforgovernor.com. There are no limits to what you can contribute. And I know your listeners were just tuned in to a congressional race outside Nashville. This is the only game in town for many conservatives, grassroots conservatives. This is an important race, and we're about 3 weeks out from Election Day.
Let's win for Winsome. You want to use that?
Excellent, Dan. I'll you can trademark it. I'll use it on the campaign trail.
Thank you, Matthew. Talk to you later.
He was obviously impressed.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Could you he was like, wow. That's,
zoned in. Yeah.
That is second to none.
Why didn't I think of that? Yeah.
I bet you somebody thought that was a good win for Winsome. Or when you're talking
the first time you said it.
Or when you're talking about counties, you could say, "Hey, let's win some
for
counties
Winsome.
For Winsome."
Mm-hmm. You have anything else, Dan?
Nope. And I got 60 more seconds.
We could win some cheers for Winsome Sears.
Oh, look at that. See?
Okay.
Sam can be
now
just as dumb
somewhere.
as me. There you go. All right, very good. Sam, is our stream back?
It's back.
Our stream crashed in the middle of that whole thing.
I was trying to get Matthew Hurtt's image, uploaded, that youthful glow about him, and the stream said, "Matthew Hurtt, you're too handsome," and it crashed the whole program.
Which means that, of course, I lost all my numbers on YouTube for this.
Hey, but you know what? You're sticking around for an extra hour.
Yeah, but Chris Hand gets the credit.
Well, so the Chris Hand show gets the credit, anchored down by...
Tell me how that helps me, because when they look at the numbers and they see Dan Mandis, an entire Friday, which Friday is usually pretty good, is just going to be wiped clean because it crashed.
We check who, check the registry, who showed up for work that day.
Whatever. Chris is sick, just to be fair. 8:50 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, Sam, we wanted to do this in this segment, but we couldn't because the thing crashed. So coming up after 9, we're going to have State Senator Brent Taylor. He is going to join us.
And Mr. Taylor, don't be offended if your image is not on the stream. Your handsomeness will probably also crash our program.
It could have been my ugliness, that crashed the stream. It could have been that.
Oh, Dan, don't say
you have
those
negative
things.
humility points for that.
So but there is a general sessions court clerk in Memphis that is this just kind of landed on my radar, and somebody texted it to me. So you had to work very diligently, Sam, on getting all of the F-bombs and all of the S-bombs out of this.
Mm-hmm. But, and don't forget the A word and the B word and almost the whole vocabulary.
Memphis General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, whatever, is yelling at the police. And this is, and Brent Taylor will tell you because he's calling for her immediate resignation. He will tell you that this is not someone who should be employed by the city of Memphis, and he's calling for her immediate either resignation. I don't know if they can terminate her, but I mean, wait till you hear this audio. And so the state senator is going to help us sort of navigate through what exactly happened, because he sent it to me, and I'm like, holy moly. So we're going to talk about that coming up. Hey, Joan.
Yes.
Is government still shut down?
Yes, it is.
All right. The Schumer shutdown continues. I have not talked about this in the last couple of days because, honest to goodness, I don't know what else to say about it. But I do believe that the Democrats are going to bear the brunt of the responsibility on this. I think that the Republicans are doing a really good job. Got some video. The Republicans are doing a really good job of hanging this on the shoulders of Chuck Schumer. And I think that Schumer knows it. You look at the polling and people will say, you know, a number of different things. But one of the things that they'll say is that we do blame the Democrats because they are the ones that are shutting down the government. I mean, Mike Johnson has said many times, we'll go back to the negotiating table, but all you got to do is just vote to keep the government open. That's all you've got to do. And they won't do it. By the way, Chuck Schumer is out there. You know, the Democrats are in trouble when they start throwing down the people will get sick and people will die mantra, right? They always do this.
Hear that, Mr. Speaker? That's your constituents. Good Americans in your own state will suffer the most if the ACA premiums expire. People will go bankrupt. People will get sick. People will die. All because the Speaker chose to keep the House on vacation rather than come to work and negotiate with Democrats to fix this health care crisis and end their Trump shutdown.
Do you know what's interesting? He's lying. Like, he's literally lying through his teeth.
Well,
Mike Johnson has actually, now I'm triggered. Mike Johnson has actually said, vote for the CR and we will keep the government open and we'll negotiate on all of these things. It's not about the Obamacare. It's not about the issues right now. It's literally about keeping the government open so that they can talk about the Obamacare issues. He is lying. How do you know that Chuck Schumer is lying?
Because he made up a fictional middle-class couple from the Massapequa, New York area.
And because his lips are moving.
That's true.
That's how you know that Chuck Schumer is lying. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is why I don't want to talk about this.
Maybe it's the Baileys. Maybe Joe and Aline Bailey are the ones that are going to die.
Remember that whole thing, folks? We're talking about that?
Yes.
Where he's been talking about, hey, Chuck, what would the Baileys feel about the Schumer shutdown? Let's talk about that. Baileys. For people that had missed that thing that I did a while ago, Chuck Schumer has been referencing the Baileys as like a typical, New York in his district couple. And he's been talking about them for years and years and years and years and years and years.
Almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades. And they don't exist. They don't exist.
It's funny because he looks like one. It is the trait of a goblin to be deceptive.
Is it? I didn't know that. Yeah. Goblins are deceptive?
I mean, look at the nose and the ears kind of line up. If his skin was green.
Oh, he's got Chuck Schumer. Well, I'm not going to start dissing on Chuck Schumer for his ears because that's the least offensive of him.